So often we sit and we overthink everything. We become indecisive in the face of fear. And that's one of the most important times to be able to exercise decisiveness. So, we're going to talk about being indecisive, the cost that it can have on your business, how to move out of that overthinking state and become more decisive so that you can be more productive in your business and achieve more in your life. Hey friend, welcome to the Badass is the New Black podcast, where our motto is done is better than perfect. I'm Krissy Chin, here on a mission to help you take your knowledge and turn it into a profit. I'm an expert in course creation and membership offers that create reoccurring revenue so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more. Most importantly, I'm a laid-back wife, mom, a friend who started as a peds nurse, turned network marketer, and now a serial entrepreneur. This podcast is for ambitious people with an idea, a vision, but no idea how to get there. On this podcast, I'll give actionable steps to keep you moving forward while you learn new business strategies, better systems and process, marketing, sales, all the things that you need to build and scale a blissful business that keeps your pocketbook growing. Grab a beverage, open up your notes app, and let's get to it. Welcome, welcome. Today's going to be a great day. I can just feel it. It's the last day to get into the Scale to Six coaching community. So if you're a course creator or you have a membership offering, or you're in the process of creating a course or launching a membership, then this coaching community is for you. My goal is to help you get your digital business scaling to six figures and beyond while helping you work less hours so you can enjoy a whole lot more. So if you're looking for support, someone to guide you through and teach you the skills and strategies that you need to reach your next goal, then you have a personal invitation from me to come join us. The doors close September 8th. That's tonight if you're listening to this episode on launch day. And when we reopen, the price does go up. So don't waste any time. Now is the time to be decisive. Maybe I should have waited until the end of this episode to ask you to jump in, right? Anyway, I'm just really excited that you're here with me because being indecisive can be crippling. Not just in your business, but in life as well. And so I'm really excited to talk about this and help you learn some ways to transition out of being indecisive and be more decisive so that you can do more, you can feel more empowered, you can live your best life. So I grew up as a natural people pleaser. I came from a family of people pleasers, and we just really wanted everyone to be happy. And so we are, more inclined to take that step back and let someone else make the decision because we know that as long as they're happy, we're happy. Is there anyone with me on that? Anyone listening out there? If you're on YouTube watching, in the comments, if you're a people pleaser, I would love to have that connection with you. All right. So growing up, we would do pizza night every Sunday night, and everyone would have their friends over. I'd have a couple of friends. I grew up with three sisters, so we'd all have friends over. I think it was X-Files night. It was like Wednesday night was Party of Five and 90210, totally dating myself. And then Sundays was X-Files night. But my mom would make pizza on Sunday night, homemade pizza. And so there'd be, if we each had two friends over, 4, 8, 12, 15-ish people would be there. And she would go around and she would ask each person, what do you want on your pizza? Okay. And what do you want on your pizza? And what do you want on your pizza? And she would be writing it down. Krissy, 2 pieces of ham. Phil, 2, pepperoni, or I'm easy, or 2 pieces of pepperoni, onions, and mushrooms. Other 2, another person, green peppers and, whatever, Hawaiian, pineapple. She'd have all these toppings and you would literally get to make your own pizza, but it wasn't mini pizzas. It was a big pizza. So she would just, here's 2 pieces, here's 2 pieces. And she would do them. Right. So she was totally the people pleaser, and I love her for that. But this is how I grew up. Wanting to make everyone happy, not wanting to ruffle any feathers, no confrontation. Let's just keep the peace and please everyone. And so I find it now trickling into my life as an adult, my desire to want to please people. I grew up in that environment. It was comforting and it was nice. And this happens with my husband and I all the time when it comes to eating out. Maybe you can relate to this. But I always want to be the first one to say, so what do you want to eat? Because I don't want to be the one to have to make the decision. First of all, he's way more picky than I am. So yes, I have food sensitivity. So one might say that maybe I'm more picky because I can't eat gluten or dairy. However, I'm super laid back. I'm super chill. So I'll find anything to eat. Take me to a sandwich shop and I'll ask for a piece of lettuce, some turkey, a bag of chips, and I'm good to go. Take me to an Italian restaurant. I'll get a salad, right? Hold the cheese, please. But my husband grew up with a family that owned restaurants, and he lived in Chicago for many years. And so he was naturally raised on really amazing food. And so, yes, he is picky, whether he says he admits that he is or not, because nothing's as good as what he grew up on. But he always, wants me to be happy. So he too likes to ask, what do you want to eat? So it's always this race to ask first. We know that on Thursdays we're eating out because the kids have swim lessons. And so it's tradition to go to Chick-fil-A. I literally cannot eat any more Chick-fil-A. So I'm like, Thursdays is eat out night. So we get to swim lessons and we meet there because he comes from work. And like the second we sit down in the chairs to watch, I'm like, what do you want to eat? Right? Like I'm always trying to beat him to the punch. And then it's us trying to make the decision, or it's me trying to make the decision based on what he wants. And then I become super indecisive, and then we grow hungrier, and then we grow hangrier, and 20 minutes goes by, and then we just end up settling on Chinese. So that's, if it's Thursday night, tomorrow night, and you're wondering, what are the Chins doing? They're at swim lessons trying to figure out what they're going to eat. And we're just inevitably going to end up on Chinese food, right? So anyway, I find that I let this happen in my business. Let's get back to the topic here. And inevitably, I just lean towards being a little bit more indecisive. I have the inability to be decisive at times, and it takes forever to make a decision about something because of a lot of factors. Wanting to make others happy is one of them. Not wanting to make the wrong decision is another one. Not wanting to upset people. It kind of goes in line with, being happy. What are other people going to think? Many, many different reasons why. But these habits that maybe we grew up with are not healthy for a business owner. And if you're not working on your personal development as a business owner, then we got to talk. But I think you are, because you're listening. You clicked on this episode, right? And you knew it was kind of a personal development one. So you're the CEO of your company. You have to be the one to make the decisions. So you can brainstorm with other people. You can bounce ideas off of other people. And I think that is great. And I think you should do that. But at the end of the day, you have to learn how to make the decision for you and your business. And taking forever to make the decision can be really detrimental to your business. Even I find myself getting caught up in overthinking. How many of you are overthinking things right now? You're second guessing your next move. And you're not making decisions fast. I'm pretty sure it took me about 3 months to come up with the name Build a Profitable Course. I think it was one of the first titles I came up with, but then I had a whole list of them and I just kept, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to call it. And then one day I just decided I have to start talking about it on my podcast because I won't move forward with creating it unless I start talking about it. So I just started calling it Build a Profitable Business, thinking that maybe I'll change it, but I just have to start talking about it. And then it just kind of stuck, which is totally fine. But I was way overthinking it to the point that I was using it as an excuse to not move forward. And I think, think of something right now that you're struggling with in your business, with making a decision on something in your business, on what to do. What is that thing? If you're on YouTube, share in the comments, what is that thing that you are really struggling with making a decision? If you just decided to make a decision so that you could move forward, I guarantee, even if it's the wrong decision, you'll make more headway than if you just sit around for 3 months trying to decide what to do. Because a lot of times in order to get clarity, we have to make that decision and feel it out to really know if it's the right or wrong decision. So for the longest time, I was being indecisive as to even where I wanted to take this coaching business and what I wanted to focus on as I evolved, right? Did I want to focus on courses and membership site creation, or did I want to focus on helping people with systems and process? And so I kept going back and forth with, I don't really know what to do. And I didn't release anything for my business for an entire year. Nothing of purchase to be able to purchase anyway. I mean, I kept going with this podcast, right? But I had created Build a Blissful Business, the course that helps you with branding, getting your business online, setting up your website, but then nothing else. Cause I was like, I don't really know what direction to go. So I'm just going to keep doing a podcast and like, just sit on it. Right. So for an entire year, I just had one product. And then I just made the decision, okay, I'm going to focus on helping people with their courses and their membership offers. That's what my experience is in. That's what I'm kind of an expert in. That's what I really love doing with people. So I'm just making the decision, I'm going to go for it. And in doing that process and making the decision, I realized that I can actually do both of the things, or kind of a lot of the things that I was trying to decide between this or that. I'll be able to teach you both systems and process, how to work more efficiently as you create and build your brand, your business, your digital products, so that you can work less and enjoy and earn more, which is the reason why you're here, which is the reason why you tune in every single week. But my main focus will be supporting you and everyone else through building those digital products, those courses, those membership sites. And instantly, instead of not making any moves in my business, when I decided to be decisive and just make a decision, even if it's like, I don't really know if this is the right one, but I'm just going to go with it and go for it, things started happening. I picked the launch date to open the doors to Scale to Six coaching community. And doors closed today, by the way. I made a plan to launch Build a Profitable course, and then have plans to launch a course to help people build a thriving membership. By the way, if anyone has any suggestions on names, I don't want to sit on that one for 3 months, so go ahead and send them my way. But anyway, and deciding to be decisive literally took me from one product in my business for an entire year to 4. And in just a couple months, it should be 6, which is huge. If you only have one offering, then you're sending someone down a dead-end path. You know, they took your course and then that's it. That's the end of their journey with you. But if you develop a product suite that supports them ongoing on their journey, then you can take someone down that never-ending path of greatness, of involvement and achievement as they continue to work with you at each new stage in their journey. So stop being indecisive about who you want to serve and what you want to do. Don't worry about what other people are going to think, or if it's the right thing. Ask yourself, does it align with my values? Write this down, take some notes. Does it align with my values? Hopefully you've written down some values for your business, yourself. Does this align with my vision? And will I enjoy doing it? And if the answer is yes to those, then go for it. Make the decision to try it out, feel it out. Another one that I find people really getting stuck on is hiring help. So it's just another example. They're indecisive as if they want to hire someone. They're indecisive about who they want to hire. They're indecisive about what they want to hire out, right? What should I do first? I don't really know. So you just sit in this overthinking mode, second guessing mode, and you become indecisive, and then you never hire someone. And don't get me wrong, you don't want to hire the wrong person. And that's why maybe you seek guidance and help. It's something that I'm sure we'll be talking about in the Scale to Six coaching community. But the longer you linger in your indecisiveness about growing your support team, the longer you get stuck with everything in your business and you can't scale and work less and enjoy and earn more. So this is where the big fat COI comes into play. Now, I don't think I've talked about COI very much on the podcast. I know I've mentioned it maybe once on my social stories. Actually, I think it was the first time that I had heard of COI, which if you're still thinking like, Krissy, why are you still using the letters? I don't know what it means, right? My husband always says that. Don't use acronyms. Most people don't know what you're talking about. So then whenever I hear someone use an acronym, I'm like, crap, I don't know what that means. So don't worry, I'll tell you what it means. But most of the time we just talk about ROI a lot. Return on your investment. Maybe you already knew that one. So when you invest XYZ, what kind of return are you going to get? What kind of financial return are you going to get? What kind of time return are you going to get? Those are some great questions to ask yourself. But most people forget to think about COI, right? The cost of inaction. There, now you know what it means. The cost of inaction. And that often comes from being indecisive. And being indecisive typically comes from fear. What if I make the wrong decision? What if no one shows up? What if no one joins my program? What if I wasted all this energy and it doesn't work? What if I put in the effort and I decide it's not really for me? So you just delay, and then no one really does show up because you never created something for them to show up in the first place. I think it's Mel Robbins that talks about the 5-second rule. No, I'm not talking about when your kid's food falls on the floor and you have 5 seconds to pick it up and eat it. Not that rule. Her rule is super simple. If you have an instinct to act on a goal, then you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Now, this is the Mack Daddy rule when it comes to being decisive. If you're thinking about launching something, act within 5 seconds. Get up, get to a place where you can start working through it, or open up your calendar to start looking at launch dates. So she physically wants you to get up and take action and do something within 5 seconds. Open up your email and send that email that you need in order to get moving on that next step. Join the community that will guide you and push you and hold you accountable and celebrate with you. Another great exercise is to think about what that COI will cost you. So what that cost of an action will cost you. I do this with my private clients a lot. P.S. This is also the secret to a successful sales call, but we'll save that for another episode. If you do not take action on, and fill in the blank, what is the cost? If you drag your feet on creating your first course, what is that going to cost you? And I have them think about it. And I have them tell me. I have them work through that. The financial cost, the emotional cost, the physical cost, everything. Because the decisions that you make affect lots of areas in your life, not just one. But let's look at the financial cost. So if you launched a $200 course and you sell 5 courses a month, then that's $1,000 a month. It'll cost you $12,000 over the year by not doing it. And if you don't have that $12,000, what will life look like? Maybe it will look like what it looks like today. Are you okay with that? Maybe you could do a lot with that $12,000. Maybe you could take your family on a vacation that you haven't done in forever. Maybe you'd be able to fly there because you can only drive. What is it that you could do? You could have less stress with just paying your everyday bills because of that extra money coming in. So think about that. Maybe that stress is causing stress, like turmoil between you and your partner because you guys are both stressed about money. Would that extra money help release some of that stress? And so that maybe you wouldn't get at each other all the time about it? What is the cost of an action? And think of every little detail. What if you're thinking about launching a membership site and you keep dragging your feet because you don't think anyone's going to sign up? By the way, I totally said that before. I'm going to launch this thing and just hope someone shows up. Like at least just one person. If I can just help one person, then that'll be a success, right? But you're letting fear get in the way of making the decision to move forward. And then this will show up in a lot of different areas. You'll be indecisive about the name of your course or your membership. You'll be indecisive on the price. You'll be indecisive on what you want to include. You'll be indecisive on setting up that funnel, all in the name of fear most of the time. So let's say you want to launch a membership and you want to charge $25 a month. And your goal is to fill that membership to 100 people. That's $2,500 a month times 12 months. That's $30,000 cost of inaction. And arguably more, because once you have that created, maybe you have that next step in your product suite, right? So if we can put this monetary value on our cost of inaction and our indecision, that might help us make the decision, be decisive. But if money is not your driver, that's fine. Maybe you have a deep passion to serve more people in your community. So what is that cost of inaction on your community if you don't launch your course, if you don't launch your membership, if you don't create that workshop, if you don't host that virtual summit, whatever it is that you want to do, if you don't start that podcast, right? If you teach families how to have a better relationship with their child, and right now you can only serve 10 people a month, and you're dragging your feet on that course or that membership, and you have the ability to serve 100 people a month if you were to launch it, your cost of inaction could be affecting 90 families. If you could be more decisive, quicker, you could help 90 more families a month have better relationships with their children, and that would impact generations down the line. So the next time you have to make a decision and you feel indecisiveness creeping in, overthinking, second guessing. So the next time you're feeling that you're indecisive, I want you to ask yourself, am I being indecisive because I'm afraid? What am I afraid of? What will happen if that thing I'm afraid of happens? And then what? And then what? And then what? And you play the and then what game, where it takes you down this path and you realize that it's actually not so bad. You have survived, and then you can make the other decision, right? But at least you know, because you decided. And if that doesn't help you become decisive, then I want you to put a value on it. Either how much is it going to cost you monetarily if you stay indecisive, or how many people is it going to affect in a negative way if you stay indecisive? And that could be your customers, your community that you're serving. If you don't offer them that knowledge and skill and advice that you have to offer, it could be your family members because you don't take action, right? How many people is it going to affect? And if you need more support, turn to your community. Share what you are struggling with and see if anyone has any insight. Sometimes we just need a little validation that what we're doing is a good idea, or a little brainstorm session and someone throws out an idea and that actually triggers a different idea for you. And that's the one you decide to go with. You know, it's the reason I created Scale to Six coaching community, because brainstorming and throwing out ideas and gathering together to give insights and thoughts is helpful. So get your booty and Scale to Six right now. But no, seriously, thekrissychin.com/scale to 6. That's the number 6. I'm going to have monthly trainings for you. You can literally ask me anything and the community anything anytime. We're going to have monthly Q&As. It's a place to learn how to scale your business to 6 figures, but also a place to be able to network, to collaborate, to celebrate one another. It can be lonely out there behind your computer at your house or at the coffee shop. So when your friends start looking at you sideways because they just don't really understand what you're doing or what you're talking about, that's when you log into the community space, you meet up with your new friends there, and we try and help each other make the smartest decisions possible for our business. But at the end of the day, you have to make the final decision. So I hope that this episode was helpful. I hope that you now have some tools and ideas on how you can be a little bit more decisive, whether it's using that 5-second rule, whether it's kind of going through that value ladder. You know, does it align with my values? Does it align with my vision? Will I enjoy doing it? If it's fear-based, is this coming from a place of fear? What am I fearing? What will happen if that happens? And then what? And then what? And then what? Okay. And just make the decision. Sometimes it just takes taking that action and playing it out to see, okay, yes, this feels really good. This feels aligned. This makes sense. And sometimes it's playing it out and saying, okay, that wasn't quite the right thing. Let's move this way. So in the next week, I want you to, anything that you're thinking about, try and be a little bit quicker with your decisions. Try and not overthink it. Try and not second guess it. Follow your gut, follow your intuition, and just make the move. Okay. If you need support, you know where to find me. I am here for you. I will see all of those that jump into Scale to 6 inside the community, and we'll be getting to work right away. So can't wait to see you. You guys have an amazing week. Thank you for being here. As always, if you want to support the podcast and what I do here, please subscribe, share with a friend, tag me on social media. And that's about it. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you got some value out of this episode, I would love some support. And the best way to do that, so I can keep showering you with loads of actionable tips, is to hit that subscribe button. Leave a review or a comment if you're on YouTube, and share this podcast with a friend. And when you share it with a friend on social, please tag me so I can reshare your share in my stories. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out. I appreciate the heck out of you for showing up. And now it's time for you to take imperfect action so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more.